Hey guys, Victor and Rix here from Stream of Thought, wanting to let you know that we are not only on iTunes anymore.
We've expanded onto Spotify and Stitcher. You can also find us on Podbean. Please, if you listen to our podcast, leave us a rating. We would love your feedback. Also, send an email to streamofthoughtpodcast@gmail.com. We would love to hear anything that you have for us. Thanks for listening. Happy Earth Day from Stream of Thought, and here we are on episode number 87, and on this beautiful morning, we start off by talking about
Earth Day. We talk about Earth Day, a little mishap I had last year in celebration of Earth Day that eventually somehow transitions into
little flip-flops.
Flip-flopping, people changing opinions, particularly politicians.
Oh my god, not too much.
Too much.
But we talk about the weed.
Yeah, we talk about weed.
And then we spend a little time on TV. There's just too many options.
We talk about a few
almost.
TV programs, the change in culture when it comes to watching TV, the viewership from the 90s, early 2000s, and right now, and just the availability of the different platforms.
And really, but who needs TV when you have summer right around the corner?
And Movie Pass.
And Movie Pass.
And Sunset Pool.
Oh, so much to look forward to.
Summer activities coming up.
Great
as
2018
as we just
summer.
finished up winter a couple days ago. A 6-month winter.
Fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed. With that being said, episode number 87 of Stream of Thought. We hope you enjoy. So much better. So much better.
Oh my goodness.
You know what today is? I almost forgot.
What is today?
Today is Earth Day.
I was really hoping you weren't going to say your birthday. So
No,
good.
Earth Day.
Earth Day. Good.
Earth Day every year.
Happy Earth Day.
Globally, April 22nd since 1970.
So that's what you were researching before we went on air,
I just wanted to look
Okay.
up if I could find a quick couple, like a few quick facts. That stuff I already knew.
Okay.
It's not like I was it's not like I was on the internet. I was like, oh, today's Earth Day. What? No, I knew about it.
What happened today? Yeah, wow, okay. So is this something then you've been aware of every year? Or is it like occasionally?
I like first found out about Earth Day almost 10 years ago. It was in college.
Okay.
I remember because I thought it was really weird how people would make such a big deal about 420 and then 2 days later is Earth Day.
Yeah.
And I made the conscious decision. I think it was like, I was a junior in college when I was like, oh, today is 420, and I just think it's like so stupid. It's just another day. I don't like, you know what I'm saying?
Of course.
But
You've grown up.
But if I were
Kind
if I were smoking weed right now, or if I was in the habit of smoking weed, I would totally celebrate Earth Day and smoke weed rather than like get high on 420. You know what I'm saying?
As the more
I just think 420 is such a stupid fucking holiday, quote unquote holiday. It's just so dumb and cliche.
well, you
over
know
the
it's
top.
become a corporate thing now. Now that marijuana is becoming legalized
Really?
in California. I don't know. There were a couple of comedians who were talking about it in the late night shows, but the marketing and actually Bill Maher, Real Time with Bill Maher this past Friday, one of their overtime segments was on marijuana and how the legalization of marijuana on a nationwide level is meaning that corporations are seeing the profit because of the huge revenue sales from states that have already legalized. So you come to a point now where suddenly it's money. Well, what party cares very much about capitalism and money?
What part? Like what
What
political party?
political party? Yeah.
The Republican Party.
Yeah. So you have Democrats right now who are pushing it, but as soon as it becomes financially lucrative and Republicans see, oh, this makes people wealthy, like
Yeah.
it becomes a bipartisan issue, so to speak. And so you're going to see even quicker than gay marriage, I think, because fun story, the reason everyone was talking about this was former Speaker of the House John Boehner, who I don't know if you remember
I
who
don't know
John
who that
Boehner
is.
is.
Nope.
He used to cry a lot. Like people made fun of him for crying
Really?
a lot. Yes.
Why? Because he becomes
He
so
was just a very
passionate
emotional person.
when he's like making a speech or something.
Yeah. When he became speaker, I never thought this day would come.
And people make fun of him.
Yeah. So, but
Yeah.
he but he was very opposed to marijuana when he was Speaker of the House. He's like, I'm unalterably opposed to any sort of legalization of marijuana. He just joined the board of one of the largest marijuana corporations, saying that his views on marijuana had evolved in just a matter of like 4 years.
I saw
5 years.
there was a meme that I saw that was I think the caption said something like why we shouldn't trust politicians, and it showed a picture of a guy, I don't know who it was, with like with a young girl and a poster that said something like, you know, so and so for Planned Parenthood, and then there was like a separate picture, same guy with like another poster or like another thing with somebody else that said like something against Planned Parenthood.
Yeah.
But the thing is too, it's like I don't get why people like people minds or just with whatever the case is, like people evolve as individuals. So obviously, like maybe their thoughts on something is going to change no matter how small or big it is. So when someone is like, what's his name, Boehner,
John Boehner, yeah.
was against marijuana, and now he's joined a board that is for marijuana.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
Yeah, people evolve, but it's interesting to see evolution on a group scale, because
Yeah.
normally like we as individuals evolve over time based off of conversations and like life experiences, right? And it evolves naturally. Our beliefs shift in hopefully independent of culture
I
at
see.
large.
Yeah.
I mean, it can be an influencer, but hopefully we're doing the soul searching. Unfortunately, what you see a lot of times is you got a couple of leaders who say their positions have evolved, and then suddenly groupthink takes over, and everyone's like, "Oh, I guess my position has evolved
Yeah,
too."
'cause
Because
they
I haven't
don't
really
think for
thought too.
themselves.
I haven't really thought too hard about it.
Because it's easier to follow than to be independent
Well,
and lead.
it's interesting that you mentioned that, because I had read an article recently that I just found fascinating about what it's kind of related, white evangelical support for Donald Trump. And back in 2016, guess what? Donald Trump's support. This was before he won the nomination in the primaries. What his support among white evangelicals, favorable, unfavorable.
Unfavorable.
Yeah, but the range. What percentage of people?
I
percentage
see.
of white
I'll
evangelicals?
say 76% unfavorable and
Just say
20.
favorable.
Okay, favorable.
What percentage favorable?
Oh,
Like,
what percentage favorable? Guys, you're just you're just making this as confusing as possible
not
for
that
me.
confusing.
Okay, that I'll say 24% were favorable.
That's exactly right.
No way.
You are exactly
Is
right.
it really?
It ranged from 24 was the lowest that it
Uh-huh.
got to 30%. So
Okay.
it fluctuated during the primaries.
Got it.
Poll just came out a week or so ago. Among white evangelicals, guess what his support
Oh,
is?
just recently?
Just recently.
89%.
No, a little high, but it's
Right again.
But you were close. It's 71% of white women and 82% of white men.
Okay.
Who consider themselves conservative evangelicals. So yes, it's very interesting how, and I mean that's an instance where like what the fuck happened? Like
Yeah.
how do they have a more favorable opinion the more they've heard about him over the course of the past 2 years? That sort of evolution, I feel like, is very similar to people just learning more about.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's weird because it's like if they were learning more, you would think it'd be the opposite. But
Well, I was.
it's very confusing.
I just finished up, or I just started season 6 of The Office this morning. So
Oh my
I've,
goodness, you're
I've
still on The
been
Office.
binge watching The Office,
Yes,
right?
yes.
But what I really like about Netflix is that they automatically start playing different trailers when you log into Netflix. Before, you would make a selection, and whatever the cursor was on,
Yeah.
that would be the background, and that would just be it.
Yeah.
But now, when you log into Netflix, the default background is just a random Netflix promotion. It's the trailer. So there's a video playing, and one of them is Donald Trump, and that there's a documentary on Donald Trump that's like right next to The Office. That says like vested views or something. There's clips from the 80s, and I was thinking, wow, this is really interesting because even people our age who were born in the late 80s, early 90s, right now just have this huge impression of Donald Trump being an asshole and being the president. You know what I'm saying? But like people older than us and our parents' age know of him probably more as like the business tycoon. People our age don't. We knew of the show that he had like The Apprentice, and we knew he was an office tycoon or a business tycoon, but we didn't really grow up with him emerging to be the real estate mogul that he is in New York. So what I'm saying is I'm really interested in going to see that documentary and learning more about his past rather than all this information that is on the current day.
Yeah, it's interesting because people our parents' generation have a pretty negative opinion of his like business people who anybody who sort of followed him, anybody who lived in New York. He was blatantly racist. He was lots of housing discrimination, lots of bullying people, like trying to force an old woman out of her home so that he could build a luxury condo or something like that. So, I mean, he did not have a good reputation, but it was The Apprentice, when The Apprentice came out, that changed his favorability rating and just, like, made him a reality TV star who was, like, the boss.
Yeah.
And people like the image of the boss, and so people didn't really think too much about his real estate stuff. They only saw him on TV. That's how he gained national exposure.
Yeah.
And so the first images that people saw of him nationally was one of portrayed, you know, the King of Kings, so to speak, right?
Yeah.
And
for
so
sure.
learning about, I think that's important to learn about some of the stuff that happened earlier in his career.
Switching back real quick to Earth Day.
Yeah.
I'll be honest. When we started talking about weed, I was like, I just want to talk about Earth Day right now, but I guess this is where the conversation's going, so I'm just going to go with it. But I have a story, real quick story. Last year on Earth Day, or maybe it was 2 years ago, they were selling like these plants at Aldi, and we were going to throw them out because I think we had to make room for something else. And I was like, oh no, not on Earth Day. No, not on Earth Day. I'm going to save these plants. And so I took them, and I remember I had like 6 to 8 of them in these little, you know, planters that were like 6 inches in diameter. And I took them, and I remember walking out of the store, and I caught a glimpse of myself in the glass, like holding all these plants. And I was like, oh, I'm going to save you guys. I put them in my car. I maybe even buckled one of them up in the front seat.
Of course you did.
I
Were
put
you
them in
high?
No.
Oh, okay.
I put them in the car, and I get to my house, and then the next day I plant them outside. And I plant them outside, and, you know, a few days go by, and they look like they look like they're not doing very well. And I'm watering them and everything, and I just can't figure out what is going on. And a few weeks go by, and they just... I can't figure out why they're not growing, you know? The weather's nice and everything. And they start to look a little withered. And I'm like, what the hell is happening? Turns out these plants are all indoor plants. They're not supposed to be planted outside.
Oh my goodness. Wow.
So I was like, that's the last time I'm doing that, because I had a bunch of them, and I dug up some holes in the backyard and I planted them.
You are so weird. I don't know anyone who our age who would do something like that. Here, little baby plant.
I think maybe
you're looking so wilted. Let me give you a little more water.
Yeah, I was just like, what is going on?
Yeah.
Why is it that these are not doing well?
Little Papa Victor.
They were never supposed to be outside in the first place.
Yeah.
And it was weird because the 2 or 3 that I had inside were doing really well. Yeah. And I was just like, what the hell is happening?
You know, this was 2 years ago, you said.
This may have been last year or the year before. I can't remember.
Okay, so the internet...
I think it was last... No, it was last year. It was last year.
So the internet exists at this point in time.
Yeah.
Why didn't you just Google what the plant was and see what it needed to grow?
I figured it was a plant. You just stick it in the ground and just water it.
Have you ever done anything with plants in your life before?
No. I mean...
So you thought that this would be a great way to give it a go?
I thought you just take a plant, you take it out of the planter, dig a hole, throw some dirt over it, water it.
Oh my God! You need to.
This isn't science, rocket science.
You need to make a garden.
I've thought about that.
Learn the
nice.
basics of when I was growing up. We had a garden in the back of our house.
What happened to it?
Oh, it died.
Oh, so I'm taking gardening lessons from the guy with the garden
Hey,
that
man.
died.
At the very
Okay.
least, I understood some of the basics of, like, for example, if you're going to grow anything that animals like, you're gonna need a fence. People
Obviously.
don't like, yes, but that's something that you may not think about until the plants are gone. You're like, where the
Yeah.
hell did the plants
Yeah.
go? They didn't get up and walk away. Oh, that's right. So
But wouldn't squirrels just climb over the fence?
squirrels don't eat plants.
What about like tomatoes? If you're growing tomatoes.
Yeah, sometimes you'll need a mesh screen over top too. So
Okay.
it depends.
All right.
Yeah. Yeah. Just
So what else? Fence.
what I don't know. It's been a
Turning
while.
the soil,
Yes, turning the soil.
nitrates.
I know enough to go on Google to because I know that what I do know the basic.
Dude, let's we should have a growing competition. We should grow something and plant it at the beginning of the month or the beginning of May, end of this month maybe, and then by August or September see how well it's grown.
Interesting. You know what might be more interesting is we pick out some seeds and we don't tell the other person, and then we give them the other person's seeds and see if they're able to make it grow.
Wait, what?
No, I'm just kidding.
I got confused. Just okay, whatever.
Moving on.
Moving on.
Yeah, but the basic thing that you need to know about plants is that every single plant needs something different in order to grow. Some are like partial sunlight, some are full, some are indoor. Like they all vary. So the very basic that I know is that I need to research what plants are because some need particular soil. Like you never know. It's very interesting. It's very complicated.
That is.
But if you do it right, we did do it right for a couple of plants. I think tomatoes. We might have gotten some tomatoes, which ended up turning out.
I think lettuce is super easy to grow, right?
I think so.
I don't know.
Potatoes can be pretty easy.
But also how much would you need to plant if you were just planting food for one person for yourself? I feel like I would need to plant a bunch because I would just consume a lot.
Yes. Yeah, you'd probably need a pretty large garden, I would imagine. If you are planning on that being your primary source of food.
Right.
'Cause-
Just like fruits and vegetables.
Yeah, if you're living a disgusting lifestyle like that with no protein, then yes, you would need to grow a lot. But no, I mean generally like people will have it as a side or whatever and not have it as every single meal as a meal itself. So you don't need something massive, but good plot of land.
Right. So what else were you gonna bring up?
Well, okay, so I've been feeling in a very unsettled mood, and I think a lot of it has to do with, I mean, the growing of the YouTube channel, which has been going well.
Yeah, where are we at now? 7,200?
74.
Wow.
Yeah, it's great. Continuing to grow. Everything's going wonderful. About to release a new channel trailer. So YouTube is going through the same thing that every other social media thing is. And I know we've talked a little bit about the issues that Facebook and Twitter and some of these other of our social media outlets,
Yeah.
the issues they've been having with fake news and all that. So I have been, one of my alerts on my newsfeed that I get is from YouTube, stories on YouTube in the news, big or small. And recently I've been seeing a spate of headlines that have been from like NBC, Washington Post, like some of the bigger outlets talking about YouTube's algorithms. And it's changing in the way that the issue right now that there is, and is that recommendations for videos that you end up getting on your feed tend to encourage people to click things that are going to catch their eye and keep them on the site. So very provocative images and thumbnails or whatever, like the video they don't want you to see, or try to disprove, that the earth is flat, like, scientific proof kind of thing like that. And so very clickbaity stuff that's basically just conspiracy theories and fake news kind of things. And I think the news is just starting to pay attention to it. And I for the first time, I'm actually starting to take it seriously. Is like, I never really thought that people did that sort of stuff, right? Click on links that are like,
Yeah.
you know, 10 reasons why Hillary Clinton's a murderer,
Yeah.
kind of thing. But so I never watched videos on the Drywall Doctor YouTube channel. But my former partner used to watch videos, and I never really paid attention to like what videos he followed. But recently, I went on the recommended videos and the list like that, and all of it was like super clickbaity, like in the like as close to like PG porn on YouTube as you could get.
Yeah.
Like you wouldn't believe what happened to this girl forgets to turn off webcam, and then it's a picture of this girl going.
Yeah.
Like that, like a still image of that to like make it seem like she's orgasming or you know, like masturbating on webcam, or like she didn't realize her web camera was still on. Like, and it's just a list of like what Simpson characters would look sexy or something like that, and a picture of like with Maggie with big boobs or something like that. I'm like, what the? And then I look at the views. 750,000 views, 1.3 million views, 2.2 million views, 1.5 million views. And I'm like, are you posted 1 week ago, posted 3 days ago, posted a month ago. Like, millions of views on these. I'm looking at this and I'm like, are you kidding me? This is disgusting.
Yeah.
Like, this is horrifying. And I think to myself, like, this is about as, like, sensational as you could get without being banned from YouTube. Like, even then, I don't know how you could have titles or thumbnails that look like that aren't banned, that are posted 3 or 4 days ago. So obviously nothing's happened to them. They haven't been taken down, anything like that. And millions of views. And these are from channels like Viral Rant or Crazy Wild Videos or like...
These are probably the people that watch these videos are probably the same people that watch anime porn.
I don't know. I'd rather not think about that, honestly. But I just, it's like,
that's funny that you say that because
up.
That's funny that you say that because if you click
There's
on
so many of them.
If you click on and we can continue this or next episode, but after we record this, I'll have you can click on my YouTube bookmark, and it'll populate. Obviously, populates like what stuff you're subscribed to, but also just like suggested videos based on what you watch of videos that you just searched that have nothing to do with your subscription videos.
Yep.
And I like the recommendation because it's like, oh, cool, like this would be a good video based on either my subscriptions or just other stuff that I've searched. But to just log into the channel and to have all these just immature and
obscene
and what sounds to be fetish-esque videos just populate, like, oh my goodness.
I'm like, damn, like, this is weird shit. Like, this is some, this is a realm of YouTube I didn't really know existed on the level it existed. I'm like, okay, so obviously, like, people use YouTube for pretty much everything. How to do stuff, like, news, like clips, viral clips, that sort of stuff. Like, everyone uses YouTube for something. And I'm like, okay, so obviously YouTube is making lots of money, but apparently a good portion of their watch time are from those videos.
So what are these videos? What are in these videos?
Just like, I don't know. I actually haven't clicked on them. Like, but because my instinctual reaction, I've just, over clinical training and stuff like that, I instinctively trained myself to resist blatant propaganda or blatant clickbait. I make it instinctual to avoid that and not click on it.
You got to start using the that channel, logging in under that email and start searching for other stuff that you normally search for, you know, political stuff. That way you can eventually flush out all of the obscene stuff.
The just really crazy shit. But it's good, though, in the sense that I wasn't watching the videos necessarily. I may have seen a couple of them, but it's just like, really hyper voice and just, this is the craziest thing ever. And just very aggressive, like, oh my God, like, why is this person yelling at me right now?
Yeah.
And so going through these sites, I'm like, there's so many of them. They're all over the place. Like, oh my God, millions millions of people, and I wonder if it's the same millions of people who are subscribing to all these fucking viral channels or whatever. But I'm like, God damn! Like, I look at the how-to section of like anything drywall or home improvement related. I mean, the highest you're gonna get is 500,000, maybe one person has 750,000 subscribers along the how-to home improvement type field, but nowhere near like
For people that post, what would Lisa Simpson look like if she was real and 18?
Yeah, yes, exactly. That's exactly what it is. It's like oh yeah, one was like real real scenes included in Disney movies, and then it has a picture of what looks like the rabbit anime rabbit movie that they had with
Roger Rabbit?
No,
Roger
the most
Rabbit?
recent one with the girl rabbit cop. It's
girl.
a kids. It was a kids movie.
Is it an animation but with real people? Like
It's an animation.
Peter Rabbit?
No, it's not like Peter Rabbit.
The whole thing is animation.
Yes, it's an animated movie. It's like a Pixar movie or whatever.
I have no
it's like a
idea.
Disney movie. But anyway, it shows them what looks like a male bunny and a female bunny like having sex, like doggy style.
Yeah.
on the thumbnail. Like it's just above the waist, but you have the
the title
male
of the
rabbit
video?
holding the female rabbit from behind, holding her ears.
No
and it looks
way!
Like attached, and it says real scenes included in Disney movies. So it looks like they're having sex, and it's like in all caps, like deleted movies that are actually there. And it's like, wow, oh my goodness. And I think that one had like 5 million views.
Wow.
What the?
That's funny.
Wow. I mean, wow. Really?
Speaking of views and millions, I remember we were talking about what were the numbers for average viewership for Walking Dead in the teens.
It had dropped. Yeah.
Anyway,
it was.
I'm in the middle of The Office, and so I researched, what were the average views in millions for each season, and they were low. And that's relative, but wow, for such a hit this television show was, I can't remember the numbers exactly, but it was like maybe 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, like it was in the low millions. And then I look up Breaking Bad, and I'm just like, what? This can't be right. Same thing, but higher, like 7, 8 million. And I'm just like, no way. And then I look up Friends and Seinfeld. Dude, those programs, and even from like beginning to end each season, Seinfeld was higher than Friends, but Friends easily averaging no less than 21, 22 million every season. Season finale, high of, I think, 52 million viewers. Seinfeld, similar, like mid-20s, low 30s. Season finale, I think it was 76 million people.
Yeah, I believe that holds a record. I think that holds the record.
Yeah,
for
that
a
does.
series finale.
And then I looked up Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
Game of Thrones is a little bit different because, I mean, so many people probably watch pirated versions of it.
It's the most pirated in history of the
And I don't know if these numbers were just in the world or in the U.S. when I looked it up, but it was the same thing, like really low compared to what a phenomenon it is.
Yes, and
this last season that happened, season 7, it keeps going up every season. I think it was at 10 million. So before that, it'd be 5, 7, 8, 9. And I'm just like really again surprised like how low those numbers are for how big of a show it is.
Wait, you're saying Game of Thrones was 8 to 10 million?
Yeah, the last season was the highest viewership they've ever had. That was around 10 million.
Walking Dead would be about much lower than that. But there's actually a reason in regards to The Office and Breaking Bad as to why that disparity between the number of views at the beginning and the number of views at the end are so different. And that's because unlike Seinfeld or unlike Friends, which were first of all very there was only a limited supply of television back in the day that those shows were airing, and the networks promoted the hell out of those shows.
Yeah.
They were cultural phenomena. They were the water cooler shows.
All the TV shows, the popular ones, were on the main network: CBS, NBC, ABC, Fox.
Yep.
It wasn't like
It was really before
Cable-
the advent of cable as
Yeah.
a entertainment alternative.
yeah.
And so you had just the core audience of most of America able to watch these shows. And so that was the thing that everyone related to and talked to. Come to The Office and Breaking Bad, these are cable shows. These are some of the first
Office, I think, is NBC.
Sorry, and the NBC, but for
Breaking Bad was AMC.
Breaking Bad was AMC, and they set the groundwork for cable being a good alternative. But with those were just one in many different shows out there, and they were not promoted highly by they had to earn their stripes over time. And it wasn't until about season 5 or 6 of both of them that they actually gained cultural relevance, and suddenly people recognized them to be like icons of the cultural moment. And so then you see this influx of viewers, and it builds and builds and builds until its concluding seasons, in which they see some of the highest viewing there.
Yeah.
But yeah, basically the lower ratings just because there's more content out there, and it's hard to tell at the outset if a show's going to be really, really good. Even with Game of Thrones, people are like dragons and ice zombies.
Right.
Like, what the hell? Like, I'm not going to watch something like that.
Yeah.
And then
Magic, what?
Magic, yeah, a show about magic and dragons. Like, really?
Yeah.
And so it took a couple of seasons to be like, oh, this is legit. And suddenly people were like, this is the new water cooler conversation, as much as we can get in this day and age of everyone having their choice.
I remember always a few times, Chris Hardwick mentioning how nowadays it's such a the industry is always cutthroat, but like Seinfeld, for example, when they played the pilot, it didn't do well, and they were going to drop the show. But then, I guess back in the 90s, what they would sometimes, just to fill airtime, replay pilot episodes
Oh wow!
of
Back
shows
in the
that
day.
they were thinking of maybe
Goodness.
dropping.
Yeah.
And it did really well. And they're like, "Oh, okay. Well, let's go ahead and, let's run with this." And so I think it was Jason Alexander or somebody, maybe it was Jerry Seinfeld. They were talking about like how today a show like Seinfeld would never be able to emerge, given its history. If it was put in the same scenario, it would just be dropped. Nothing would happen from it. But how he says, like, you got to let it show breathe, because it takes 3 or 4 seasons for the show to find its identity.
Yeah, I know you've mentioned that before.
And to really strike a chord with people.
Well, Netflix just announced something like 170 projects for 2018 that they're going to be putting together, and it's like they are really just. I mean, they're going to try to be like the Amazon of TV. Yeah. Really, I mean. How in the world is regular syndicated television going to be able to survive when you literally have the opportunity to float 170 different ideas from random people? Random people have the most creative and innovative ideas. People in a corporate boardroom have groupthink, and ideas tend to be recycled over and over again. Netflix is like, let's crowdsource this. Like, the public is a great place to find creativity.
Yeah, you can submit screenplays to Amazon,
and they'll and they will act on it. And so it's phenomenal to see just the accessibility. I think that somebody like yourself, I mean, if you decide to write a screenplay, you could totally submit it and suddenly have a show yourself.
What's cool too, what I really like too, people are becoming more aware that even if you don't have any experience, you can pitch something and have it be really successful, whether it's a TV show or, a movie. And the crazy thing is now too, is like back in the day, I'm thinking, there wasn't YouTube, there wasn't, television available on your phone. It was just, a cable box or satellite in your home. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying?
Normally 1, 2 rooms, maybe 3 if you live in
and
Glen Ellen.
What I would be curious to know is the average number of televisions in a home in America versus the average number everyone has a cell phone. So now even if you are, people are paying attention now. What is it that, okay, this TV show here, yeah, this will maybe be popular for this demographic or that demographic, you know, but now there are programs out there that even like age range, say like 11 to 14 would be like super, 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 super popular and can be available. What do they do in the summer? Nothing, but just watching Netflix probably. That's what I'm guessing. But you're now having to pay attention to a much larger demographic of people who have just as much weight, if not more, in saying like, oh, this is cool, this is not, versus trying to probably appeal to quote unquote adults.
Yes, I mean, you look at. I think the smart people in the industry are realizing purchasing power isn't just an immediate, like, you don't just target the 25 to 44s
Yeah.
because the white male suburban people, because you don't have to. Like, there's all the demographics you can target. Even those ages 11 through 18 or whatever,
Yeah.
who have no purchasing power currently, but if you are dedicated to having a business that's going to sustain itself for a decade, in 10 years from now, they're going to be the prime demographic.
Yeah.
They're going to have the prime purchasing power. If you get them early and make that brand loyalty immediately, look at Apple. I mean, Apple, they install all their computers in schools. People grow up loving Apple, knowing Apple. It's like a relative. Really.
Yeah.
And so when they have purchasing power, brand loyalty, people talk about people who are diehard Apple. It's because they grew up with it. It's their brand.
Yeah.
And that is the success of people who are like, this is an investment. Like, we got to think outside the box in how we approach it. So.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm, again, like I said, I'm in the middle of binge watching Office, and I gotta be careful not to start something new because I really enjoy watching The Office, but I look forward to being done with it so I can get back to my life.
Yeah,
You know?
I know how that is when you get sucked into a television show. It's
Yeah.
like that's why I think I avoid binge watching some of the shows or starting to watch some of the shows
Yeah.
that I've been recommended to, because I know I'm gonna probably end up going down the rabbit hole and
Yeah.
having to watch them all and just like every moment.
And there's a lot of good previews that I've seen on Netflix that are playing before I could click on Office. I'm just like, just keep watching Office. Don't pay attention to this. Just turn off the system after you're done with The Office and get back to what you can with your life.
Wow,
But
that's profound, my friend.
I think, though, I don't think I'm going to watch the last 2 seasons because I don't think Steve Carell is in the last 2 seasons. But whenever he leaves, I'll probably just not watch it because, why would I? You know what I'm saying?
I don't know. I have not really been that big of an Office fan.
Dude, you start watching it.
I enjoy it. It's
so
fun.
good.
It's something that if I was flipping on the TV, which I never watch TV anymore, but if I'm flipping through the channel,
But me too. Like
I'd
I
watch
liked it. Like it'd be fun. Like I'd flip it on, and then I started noticing it was like syndicated a lot more. They'd play like 3 or 4 episodes in a row, and I was like, wow, this really is pretty damn funny. And so that's why I decided to watch it. But when it was on, like I would watch it, but I wouldn't watch it every week when there was a new episode. It was funny and I liked it, but then I kind of started paying a little more attention to it. Damn, I'm so happy. Such a great show.
So ridiculous. I am just happy to see what Netflix has and Amazon have in store for us this coming
They're
year.
coming out with movies that are in theaters and everything too.
I know, isn't that weird? I wonder if your Movie Pass is going to apply to those.
Yeah, it'll apply to any movie. Have I showed you the app?
Yes. No, I don't think you've actually shown me the app itself. But
What's pretty interesting is that on Movie Pass, which now I'm so happy I got it when they were promoting it for like $7 a month.
Yeah.
And now it's like $10 a month. But I used it again last night
nice.
when I was hanging out with my mom, and I saw Chappaquiddick. But when you open up the app, it tells you like what new movies are there, and you can click on theaters.
Oh my god.
And it will only there's a map version and then there's a list version. And it will only populate theaters that accept Movie Pass,
Okay.
which is pretty cool. Which I guess now AMC does. I thought at one time they didn't.
No, yeah, I'm
So,
shocked.
It's cool because
wow.
it will populate a list as well as a map. And then what you can do is also, I mean, you can go to your account. You can kind of see. I'm really curious. I'm really interested in adding up how much money I would have spent on theaters. I've only gone to 2 movies, so it would have been $14, $7 each at the Glen. But I can't wait for this thing to start paying for itself, and then just me just winning.
I was thinking
all summer. It's going to be great.
Winning all summer. Well, yeah. I'm interested to see how that goes too, because I was thinking about it more. And
Tells you also, real quick to interrupt you, movies that are coming out soon.
Yeah,
it's a really cool app. Okay,
yeah,
continue.
I was thinking about it. $7 a month. I mean, even if they're taking your data, and I mean, you're giving your data to everyone else anyway.
That's what I was about to say.
I'm thinking you probably made We'll see though. I'm interested to see, because there's so many good movies coming out this summer. Like, I'm definitely going to find a way to see Avengers: Infinity War when it comes out. Absolutely. Because that will be the movie of the
May 4th, century. Right?
Is it May 4th?
I don't know. But I was watching real quick to go back when I first mentioned MoviePass, and you're like, I don't see how a company can sustain itself with
it's not a sustainable business
without a sustainable business model. And there's an episode of The Office where when Michael Scott starts his own paper company, and he goes to like an accountant because they try to figure out how much money they have where they can pay someone to deliver their paper. And he's like, you can afford to pay them nothing. And he's like, what can you crunch the numbers again? It's like, it's the computer. There's no crunching. Well, can you just do it? And the guy presses one button, and they're like, did anything change? And he's like, no. But what he says is, you do not have a sustainable business model. You have a fixed business model as opposed to a variable business model. And he's like, why don't you explain that to them? I know what it is, but tell us what you think it is, because he doesn't know. And he pretty much says, well, as your profit grows, your costs will grow and everything like that. But it was really funny because in the scene, when he mentions business model, Michael Scott is just like, he kind of has that dumbfound look with the deer in the headlights. What does not compute?
Does not compute business model.
But guess what? Business isn't my background. They'll figure it out.
Yes, history.
I don't care. As long as I can see free movies. Who knows? Maybe this thing will only be around for another year or 6 months. I don't know.
Oh yeah, no. Even if it's only around for another year,
but it's not like I'm buying stock in this thing. But hell, $90 for unlimited movies every year, I am in.
So you paid the 90 flat.
It was when I got it for the promotion, $7 a month. That's $84 for 12 months. Plus a $6 service fee for.
So you paid for everything at once then?
Yeah, you have to pay everything at once. Yeah.
So okay, well we'll see. Like, because summer I think is going to be a very interesting. Time, and if the movies are as big as we think they're going to be, because there's the Jurassic World coming out as well, and. One more.
Speaking of which,
another one.
I love watching previews when I go to a movie theater. I cannot wait to see what comes out.
There's nothing like seeing a preview in a movie theater.
The second time, though, when I saw Ready Player One a couple weeks ago, and I saw Chappaquiddick last night, you know what really turns me off? Trailers to movies where everyone in the cast is over the age of 60. Like those movies where the demographic is for people between the ages of like
the Morgan Freeman style.
No. Just like where it's old people having a good time.
Oh.
You know what I'm saying?
No.
Dude, oh my God. You will now recognize
movies about old people having a good time?
Yeah.
What the hell are you talking about?
That's the easiest way I can sum it up.
Are you sure it's not 420 right now?
Yeah, I'm sure.
Okay, well, you're not really making much sense.
I am very positive.
What do you know then? Like movies that are currently playing?
There was one for this one movie where it's just like
not rom-coms. You're talking about like old.
But they are also like rom-com for old people.
Okay.
that you mention rom-com, it's like rom-com but for old people.
Because I know a lot of the action stars, for example, do a lot of movies together now, but they're for an older demographic. Like Morgan Freeman recently did a heist movie that was just it was Morgan Freeman and a couple other old actors as well, and it was just like a bunch of them. It was like a comedy heist movie.
Yeah, I think I remember seeing a preview for that. That sounds very familiar. I probably still wouldn't watch it, but I'm thinking more in particular of rom-coms for old people. It's just such a turn off. I'm like getting pumped to see this movie, and then I see like just like old people. Just like
Okay.
jokes for the elderly and just like all this shit that I don't care about.
That is so weird.
Trust me.
I really
you
don't
will
know what you're talking about.
You will know exactly what I'm talking about the next time you witness a preview like that.
Okay.
You will know exactly what I'm talking about.
Okay, yeah.
It's just like, get this shit off. Because for the most part, they'll usually play trailers similar to the movie that you're going to see. Sometimes. You know, have you noticed that?
Yeah.
And like if I'm going to see like this intense action movie, I'm not trying to see senior citizen rom-com
Of course.
trailer.
Yeah. Wheelchair races.
Yeah. So
that is so funny. I'm like, I mean, every once in a while you'll get the trailer that's just totally divorced from all the other trailers.
Yeah.
What I don't like is seeing a movie that's maybe targeted more towards kids, and then you get all the kid action comedy movie previews. That's a bummer. Like, because it changes your mindset.
When something skews too far from the main film that you're trying to go see.
Yeah, like if it's an action movie, you want to see action previews, not like old people like fighting with canes.
Yeah, but trust me, you will know exactly what I am talking about.
I hope so,
and it's good to get a good mix up. Like if I'm going to see a thriller, I don't mind seeing previews for a romantic comedy if it looks like it's with people my age. I can deal with that. If it's like one rom-com trailer, and the others are like thriller, or action, or drama, like I can deal with that. But again, was there more than one of these in your previews? I think so. One of them stuck out in my brain, but I think there were more than one, which is why I was like, what the hell is going on?
Yeah, because the second time, that would make sense. You're like, wait, this is weird. Okay, I could see if there were two of those.
But also not to just like pick on, I sound like such an asshole right now, old people, senior citizens. I think it's just all on the opposite end too. I do not like seeing films that are like, or see a film and then the trailer is a super hardcore trailer for high school kids too. It's just like, this is too much. I need some balance. I need some balance.
Yeah.
Like last night my mom and I went to Oberweis after the movie. We were going to go inside and I pulled into a parking space. Just high school kids all over the place. I was like, I'm not doing this. And so I backed out and we went through the drive-thru.
That's a good option.
Too much energy. Too much high school energy.
Well, I remember before the internet, and you knew what movies were coming out back when it was kind of a mystery, and you'd go to the movie theater and be like, well, what movies are going to be on the horizon kind of thing, and I just remember sitting on the edge of my chair, like waiting for the title card to come, because you saw all the action scenes. No, this can't be. Are they really making a new Star Wars movie?
Yeah, right.
A lightsaber.
No way.
Star Wars Episode 1, The Phantom Menace?
Yeah.
Oh my god, I can't wait for that to come out.
Yeah.
There was those moments of just like awe and like they're actually making a
magic.
movie.
Magic. Movie magic.
The trailers were like
a
childhood moment of magic where you're like, yes, it's like Christmas will come. Like I have something to look forward to.
And I love when they advertise like an awesome movie.
Lord of the Rings.
This looks amazing. And it'll be like, so today, right now it's April 2018. This amazing movie, coming summer 2019. What the hell? What?
You're not even giving me a date?
Kidding me right now?
Summer? What is this summer?
I gotta wait 14 months to see this movie? Come on!
Oh,
come on!
Yeah.
What the hell?
That was rough. That was rough because it was like that was about as big of a blue baller that you.
And those trailers are always like, it shows you like these quick sequences that are just like 2 to 3 seconds long, and then there's usually not even any narration. It just fades to black, and then the date slowly comes in.
A general date too.
Yeah.
Never a specific date.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Coming July 2019.
Yeah. I had to say.
What the hell?
Yeah. I have something we'll talk about off air.
Okay.
I don't wanna have it on air, but yes, I do enjoy a good movie trailer.
Yeah.
So.
But yeah, I'm pumped for summer movies, and Sunset Pool.
Oh my God, Sunset Pool, really? Our local community pool,
Yeah.
where all the third graders go and hang.
No, that's what it is weird because I went there last year for the first time in years, and
Yeah,
I
haven't
would
been
go
since
there,
high school.
and I'm just like, this is so weird. Like, there's just kids
Everywhere.
There are kids all over the place.
Climbing all over
And
everything, running back and forth.
They would do. I remember being a kid. They would do like Adult Swim, which I never went in the pool. I would always go there, lie in the sun, listen to music, and then go down the slide a couple times and go back in the sun.
Ah, yes,
go
the
down the slide a couple
yes.
times, go back in the sun. But they'd be like Adult Swim. I am still to this day convinced that there should not be Adult Swim, but a Kid Swim. No adults in the pool. I remember thinking that as a child, and I was just so convinced in my brain, like, this, how could this not be a thing? It has to be. And I still think...
So clarify, Adult Swim was when all the kids had to
Everyone
get
knows
out.
what Adult Swim is, yes.
I didn't.
Adult Swim?
People who never went to community pools have no idea what Adult
Yeah,
Swim is.
it's when if you're under the age of 18, you got to get your ass out of the pool for 10 to 15, maybe 20 minutes.
Yeah.
And
That
adults
was
only.
always a pain in the ass.
If
I
you're
do
between
remember
the
that.
ages of, it's like 4 and 17. If you're like 3 or younger, you can just be
Everyone
with your
does not
parent.
know what
You know what I'm
Adult
saying?
Swim is. No.
But Kid Swim, they should totally do that. Have a balance where if you're over 18, you got to get your ass out. Kids only.
That's such a suburban thing to suggest. I love the
Whatever.
shrug. That was great.
But I do remember, I remember being there and just like, this is so weird because all these people here are children, and all these people here with the children, the parents are like all my age or just like a little bit older. It's like,
Yeah, that's right, because they would be about our age.
whenever I go there
Yeah.
to go in the grass, I try and pick a spot like away from all of the kids, and it's just weird because you see people running around, and it's just interesting and a little bit nostalgic to see middle school kids interacting with each other too. It's just weird.
Maybe for you.
It's just weird. It's just
Yeah.
like
Because they're so much smaller.
they're just.
They're
But that was at Sunset Pools where I found $5 when somehow miraculously nobody was around me and there was a $5 bill. It was not there when I put my towel down. It was there when I opened my eyes, like at some point when I was listening to music.
I feel like Sunset Pool is the best place to find random money lying on the ground.
Oh, for sure.
I cannot count like 3 or 4 times like either myself or someone who I was there with found like $1 or something just on the ground.
Yeah.
Like people drop money there all the fucking time.
People drop money at the grocery store all the time.
Really?
More often than you think. I
guess
think
so.
I found a total of like $8 so far.
Wow. That's interesting. That's kind of surprising.
Yeah, which I usually only one time I think I found like $1, which I just kept, but the other times I'd find like $3 or $5, and I'd leave it up front, and I'd tell the cashiers like, "Hey, I found this. If anyone is asking for this money, like it's here in the drawer." And then like by the end of the day, if no one asks for it, then I'll just like take it and I'll give the cashier who I told like a couple bucks, keep their mouth shut. But one woman found like
Weird.
$20 or $40, and they kept it in the office. Like a couple weeks went by, no one claimed it, so she got to keep it. That was cool.
Yeah.
Finding money is a good. If you can get at least a $1 bill, a quarter, whatever. But if you can get at least like $1, it's just like found $1.
Yeah.
Pretty cool.
That's nice every once in a while.
Yeah.
It's weird. It does happen. If you have your eyes open. and
But
paying
like I
attention.
learned from you, in order for somebody to win, somebody's got to lose.
Yeah, basic economics.
All right, I think we're done here.